If you believe everyone, no matter where they live, deserve a place to call home, you're not alone. On Housing for Good, host Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore explore housing solutions from McPherson to communities across Kansas and beyond. We bring you stories and insights from housing experts, policymakers, and people who are making a real impact. Join the conversation. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and more, because housing isn't just local, it's universal.
Welcome to Housing for Good, a podcast dedicated to housing topics and issues affecting our communities in McPherson County and beyond. With years of experience and expertise, hosts Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore discuss housing challenges and opportunities with other experts from a variety of housing fields.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
All right, Chris, I've got a bunch of news today.
You do?
It all goes together.
Okay,
So,
I have a story, so you do yours first.
okay. Have you been watching any of the soccer games?
No, but my son has been watching them.
You know, FIFA's here. So.
Yes, he
Yeah.
said, I don't really like soccer, but this is kind of cool. So
I know.
he's been watching.
Yeah, we've been watching a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first article I have, you notice first, has to do with how agencies that are trying to help the homeless get housed.
Yeah.
They're first using the availability to house people coming for the games in the housing they're developing for the homeless, so they can charge rent and collect money to use in their mission of helping these folks after the games leave.
So what happens while the games are here and the
don't
other
know.
people take the space? And didn't they do something as well where it's illegal to camp while this is going on?
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
what does that do?
Well, it just increases the pressure on the people that are most vulnerable from this.
Yeah, that's...
So, in Kansas City, that's where the nonprofit that's trying to work on homelessness is going to, they're opening a hostel. Hostel?
It's a hostel. That's a European thing, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know that we really have those here. But
And
we do
then
have.
in New Jersey, they need excess of 200,000 homes to fight the affordability crisis in New Jersey.
What's their plan? Do they have a plan?
Well, no, but 2024, they passed a law that remove some of the barriers that they have to create this housing.
Okay.
So anyway, I just found that interesting that we're not really going to work about the homeless because we want to make all this money, first of all,
I know.
from the people that are traveling here. So that kind of makes me sick to my stomach.
Makes me sad, too.
Okay, then
more.
Joey gave me...
Oh, sheesh. Joey,
awesome.
our producer's
Our
in
producer,
on this, too. Yeah.
So he lives in Wichita. Do you remember a little while back we had Matt Lowe on
Yep,
our
yep.
podcast? And he's with United Way of the Plains. He and Jen McGill were interviewed for this story where they said some of the things that we've been talking about, where the causes of homelessness go beyond the cost of housing, that a lot of times it's one thing on top of another thing that you were not expecting, and all of a sudden you don't have the money you need to make your rent or your utility bills or whatever, and so it kind of snowballs on people. And they said, Jen pointed out that, family homelessness is not the same as individual, because they're not out in the weather. They're couch surfing, or they're paying for a hotel. And she says that that they're doing everything right. They're connected to benefits. They've got food stamps. They are connected to all the resources that the community has to offer to help them stay stable. But it's a domino effect. You lose one thing, and then you lose another thing, and then, pretty soon you're homeless.
And I think the thing that people forget about is that a lot of the people that are experiencing homelessness, they're being educated, they have jobs. I mean, we're not talking about what stereotypical people with drug addictions or that type of thing, or people who are lazy or mental illness. These are everyday Americans and across the world of people who are trying really hard. We just put a nurse in one of our cottages who's going to school to be an LPN or RN, I don't know which one. And she's been living in her car, so she going to school, working full time, and living in her car because she could not find a place to land because she didn't have the right things. She wasn't addicted. She wasn't fleeing domestic violence. That makes me sick to my stomach to think somebody is working that hard, right?
Yep.
And no matter what they do, they can't.
Yeah.
They can't get it. So I got to tell a really fun story, though. Can I do that?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so I know a lot of you know that I'm a real estate appraiser. Maybe you forgot, but I have the craziest things happen to me, and I thought, I should share some of these stories because I'm all about housing, right? So yesterday, my son and I went to this house, and this is the 4th time I've appraised it. So the last time I did it, I let him do me. I got to do a drive-by. I'd have to go in this house. But the first time that I appraised it, the lady living there was the caretaker, and she says to me, "Oh yeah, the house is haunted." Well, I wasn't freaked out because she was there and there was other people there and there was furniture there and people were living there and it was fine. But she said there's phenomena, stuff moves. There's a guy that if you look up in the window, you can see him. She was telling me all these stories. And then I went into the basement and she says to me, "Oh, good, the ghost let you out of the basement." So that was the first time. The second time we did it, the people that had just bought it were selling it after less than a year, which is very suspicious in my mind.
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, I saw in the appraisal that you saw that said there might be some phenomena out here. You need to take that out of here because we haven't seen anything." And I was like, "Well, if you haven't seen anything, why are you moving?"
Yeah.
So then they moved, and then the next people that bought it, their whole life fell apart, and they got a divorce. I don't know what all happened. So then I was doing it for a repossession situation. And then yesterday we had to go in the thing.
So
I was scared. Oh, it was scary.
What happened yesterday?
So we went into the house, and they'd had a big storm, so there was branches everywhere, and we were moving around. My son's like, "Let's get the branches moved around so that if we have to have a quick escape, we can get out of here." Right? So we go into the house. Right? And I'm freaked out. I am so freaked out. I do not want to be here. I know all the stories. I'm waiting to see something, and I go in. So, and he's over here taking his time drawing the house, and like Picasso over here. I'm trying to get out of here, and he's making everything perfect. I said, "Come on, can you just memorize it? Let's get out of here. We've been here like 4 times already." So then we go upstairs, and we're upstairs, and he's on one end. This is a 4,000 square foot house. It's humongous. So we get up there. And he's doing his thing, and I'm quickly running around doing my part or whatever, because I want out of this house. I am so freaked out. I turn around, and I am not kidding you. I see this dark cloud in the corner by the stairway. So I jumped, right?
Because it startled you.
Because it startled me. I heard music. Where did this music? The last time we were in the house, he heard music, so he didn't think I was nuts. So I jumped, and my glasses fell to my sunglasses. I always have them right here in my shirt.
Yeah.
So they fell to the ground and slid 30 feet across the floor right in front of my son.
Oh, my gosh.
So I was like, "Can we go now?"
And he thought you threw your glasses
He thought
at
I threw them. I said, "Did not throw them." I did not. They literally fell to the floor, and it was the creepiest thing. They slid across the floor.
Wow.
To him. Well, anyway, so I won't tell you anymore, but I have a million of these stories. People would believe the crazy stuff the appraisers have to deal with. But anyways, that's my story.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
All right. Now we got to get to our guest because we're over here messing around.
Okay.
And I'm excited. This is my favorite person here.
I know. I love Amanda. So before we give away too much of how much we appreciate what she's doing, let's ask her to introduce herself.
Yes, do it.
Amanda, tell us about yourself and what led you to become involved with Soap for Hope.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be here. I am a Christian mom of 4 grown men now.
Wow.
And I have 1 daughter-in-love and 1 soon-to-be daughter-in-love.
Okay.
And then I'm married to my husband for 31 years this year, together 38. So,
Okay, wow.
And it was kind of an idea. It was an idea my husband and I had together.
Okay.
So, yeah, we paid off our house and decided we want to give back to the community. We always preach our boys grow where you're planted. So
I love that.
Don't go look for things grow where you're planted and take care of where you're at. And so what are we going to do now that we have extra resources?
Okay, so I want to ask, do your boys live here in town still?
One lives in Moundridge, one lives in Lyons, and the other is going to school at K-State. He's currently in Colorado Springs for the summer.
Okay.
Wow. So most of them are close by.
They're
One's kind of
close,
far.
yeah.
Colorado Springs is pretty cool. You may not get him back. But.
He's coming back. He's got to finish school.
Okay, so how did we come up with this Soap for Hope? How did it start?
So again, my husband and I, like I said, we paid off our house, and then we just wanted to give back, and we wanted to involve our boys too. Mm-hmm. So my husband and I are the ones that do the delivery, do a lot of the shopping for it and stuff. The boys help, with organizing some of the stuff. And when they were home, now that they're out on their own, they not so much. But we just involve them too, just a way to involve the family and give back to the community.
Okay, now I love this because when you first approached us, we had a conversation, and I remember something about that your son was looking for a way to improve his application for college. And he was looking for a community outreach where he could say that he's been doing this. I love that idea. Give back to your community. So tell me about that aspect of it and getting it started.
So again, we wanted to involve the boys, and we just, as a family, and that was true, he was wanting to put something down, but we also were looking for something. So it kind of just accumulated all these things. And we're like, what need in the community do we have? And, we knew that there was food banks. We knew that there was people donating food. More than one of the churches, but one of them has a place, there's a food bank. So we knew that was going on, not that there's not still a need for that.
Yeah.
But what else is there? And we knew the cottages were being built, and we're like, well, surely they, need cleaning supplies, things like that. Something aside from that, and it's kind of grown from there.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize is if you're on food stamps, you can't buy that stuff. Toilet paper, paper towels, shampoo, any of those things are not included.
Cleaning stuff.
Included in any of that. And it's something really important about having those. It makes you feel good.
Oh,
to take a hot shower with soap, to be able to clean your clothes, to be able to clean your house. It's so important.
Well, and a lot of times what folks forget is that access to hygiene products is very overlooked when we're talking about folks in poverty and homelessness. First of all, we all want to be clean. Where are you going to do that? What soap and stuff are you going to use? And the one thing I will say for Soap for Hope and Amanda and her husband is pretty much any cleaning, hygiene, paper product that we've asked them to get help with, they have brought us. They have brought us on multiple occasions.
And people don't think about this, but we have families going through the cottages, and they use up all that type of things. We need someone to help us be able to provide that so we can use our funds then to help them with something else. So it's been a blessing for us completely and totally made a difference for our families and for us as an organization. So we really, really appreciate what you're doing. But can you share a story that anybody's told you? Do you have any type of a story that somebody said, or is it just us telling you how great you are, or what?
Well, we also were giving welcome bags to the men's and women's shelter in town. And so, I have a nephew that was in prison, and when he came out, they have nothing. And he sold all his, everything, clothes, everything before prison for the drugs. And so he got out, and they had nothing. So that got me thinking, what else could we do for, maybe some of these men's and women's shelter? And when I had a meeting with them, they were like, well, they want them to be able to learn how to provide for themselves. But, if we did, a welcome bag, that would be great. So we do shampoo, conditioner, shaving, razors, shaving cream, things like that. But if there's a need, I said, let us know. Well, they had a need one time of a teenage girl that was sleeping with her mom in one of the rooms, and she wanted her own bed, and she didn't have her own bed. And as a teenager, you don't really want to sleep with your mom sometimes. And so we went out and got a bed for her.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
She was just so appreciative
really awesome.
of it.
Yeah.
And then, when I'd show up with the bags, the ladies, they weren't even the ones getting it, because it was the new people that were getting coming in that were getting the bags. But they were so excited to see, whoa, what kind of body wash do we have in there now? What kind of scents is there? So that was kind of
It really is special for somebody to get that. Even for me, if somebody gives me something, I like those things you put in your shower that steam it up and smell good. That's probably a luxury item. But no.
So I know for the Oak Harbor cottages, when you bring us items, you don't even meet the people that's going to get it. You're just really helping us to keep our pantry stocked, so that when folks say, hey, I'm out of dish soap or I'm out of laundry soap, we have that for them. But sounds like you do sometimes get to see folks that you're giving this to. So the girl that got the bed. Okay, let me just tell you, I've had this one time where we helped with a ministry and we took a bed. And this little boy was so excited. He came running out of the house. Is that my bed? Is that my bed? So tell us about that, because people overlook the fact that we have just everyday folks that are in our community that are not sleeping in their own bed. Maybe they're on the floor.
Yeah, so again, this teenage gal I didn't even meet the mom or the gal. I just met the people at the house when my husband and I delivered the bed.
Okay.
But they had since told me, like, how ecstatic that girl was, because she did not want to sleep with mom. And I think back as a teenager, you're like, I don't want to sleep with my mom. Like, I want my own little space. They need their space too, you know? And so she was just very, very appreciative to have a bed to sleep in. So I think she was sleeping in the bed with her mom, but she got her own bed and didn't want to sleep on the floor either. Like, you want a bed to sleep in.
So when you're looking at all this, if somebody's hearing this and they're like, well, I don't want to start a ministry, you know, I'm busy, I have my own life. But what if somebody wants to partner or give you things to donate to other people? Does that ever happen where maybe a church group will call and say, hey, we want to donate toilet paper or paper towels or that type of thing? Does that happen? Would you accept that? How does that work?
Yes, we would. And I haven't really partnered with the churches. That is something I have thought about. Mm-hmm. I still work full time, and I travel for a living. So
you're busy.
But I should put this on my action item to meet with some churches to see if there's a need, because I'd like to grow this if we could even.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have ideas with that. But we've had people donate money, and so at the cottages, a family had some children that needed clothes, so I went out and bought them clothes. Oh. They don't like to store what I was told to, various sizes, because there will be various sizes, and I always need clothes. So that was nice. I could use that money that I had put back that somebody had donated and went and purchased clothes for that family's children with that money.
Yeah, and there is the St. Anne's Episcopal Church. Mm-hmm. They have a clean closet, and it's only open once a month, third Friday of the month. And so I love that, because folks that are housed, if you need help with that, you can go there. They ask no questions. They'll just give you what you need. But for the shelters, a lot of times, which I can send our people there also, but, it's just you're already at that lowest spot. Mm-hmm. And you feel like every time you turn around, you're having to ask somebody for something. So like I said, I just absolutely love the ministry that they developed just by realizing there was an issue in our community.
Yeah, I love it too. I mean, for them, our people to be able to just have what they need available to them without having to. That's the thing people don't think about. Mm-hmm. Is that when you're struggling, you're having to go over here for this and over here for that and over here for this. And it's hard to go find a job when I'm running around constantly in 15 different places trying to find what I need: food, shelter, soap, all the things that you need. It makes it very, very difficult. So it's wonderful the way you service McPherson Housing Coalition and the Oak Harbor Cottages, because you bring it to us. We're not chasing you around or trying to figure out how we're going to manage that. It's appreciated so much. It's made such a difference.
Okay, now you mentioned that you think maybe you want to reach out to churches, but guess what? We have a pretty large listening audience. So maybe there's somebody in one of the churches here locally that would say, this is a busy woman, let me call her. So would you feel comfortable giving an email or a telephone number that you could be contacted? So if somebody listening says, ooh, my church should be involved with this.
Absolutely. And we've had some individuals give us a few items here and there, maybe some laundry soap or toilet paper, but most of the needs, honestly, has been us, and we're okay with that. Yeah. But if we're going to,
if you're going to grow it
and find other needs, but and we're welcome. I mean, I'll give you my number, my email, and feel free to give it out to them, because we're only as good as our community that we make it. And if we can help and fulfill that need, nobody has to ask. It's just the need is met. Yeah. That was our goal. And then you guys have goals for the cottages and the other needs to fulfill in this community. So if we can fill that need, and without anybody just You know, one time at the cottages, I think somebody needed coffee because this person was getting up super early to work and was like, we don't have coffee and I really could use some coffee. We got them coffee.
Yeah.
Like, it's a need, we'll fill it. We just need to know what it is.
Yeah.
And so it can be beyond cleaning products. That was just our initial, thing. But if there's something that's not being stocked there, let us know.
Yeah.
And we can just go from there. But we'd like to just meet it so then they can take their resources and concentrate like that nurse.
Right.
She can, when you're in school and maybe don't work as many hours because you got school, you got study, you got, we can meet that.
I can't imagine how she managed that, quite honestly. I mean, being somebody who's been in and out of school most of my adult life, tried to live in my car and trying to go to school, and nursing school is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to have the right mindset and the skills. And I mean, I couldn't be a nurse. I mean, I think that job is so important. I couldn't do it, but I can't imagine going to work and going home, sleeping in my car, and then reporting for school the next day. I can't even imagine how awful that must have been for her.
Well, and this does open up another conversation that I'm starting to hear people across the country talk about. So she can only be in our programs because she's part-time student.
Right.
And full-time employed. If you are a full-time student and maybe you have children and you're a single mom, or you're a couple and you're barely getting by, but one of you is in college, there's not a housing program that will help you because you are a full-time student. That is an issue people are seeing across the nation. So I don't know how they're going to address it.
Well, here's the other part. Normally you would say that they could borrow the money, right, or get grants. But now they have limited the amount of money you could get for school because they're trying to keep people. I understand. I mean, it's a two-edged sword. You don't want people to borrow so much money that they can't pay it back. But on the other hand, if they don't have a place to live, how are they supposed to go through school? I mean, the whole thing is like, how does this work? It's very complicated in my mind.
And then just to piggyback off that, when I was at Fort Hays State, we had to interview to get into the imaging program. And after I got in, I became friends with the instructors and the faculty, and they said, even if somebody has a high GPA, they will base that. They may not get in just based on their appearance, if they don't have well-kept nails. So going back to this, hygiene stuff, if she's living in her car and she can't have access to a shower, or she can't trim her nails or afford clothing, which I had donated some close to the high school. I don't know if people know this, but the high school forensics and debate, they need suits for the students. So I donated some suits I had for them so they could go, and they have a little closet there of that. But anyhow,
that's true.
Trying to get in and they living in their car, how they do that?
I don't even know how that person's doing that. It's crazy. But this is a perfect point here, that if you're out there and you're a busy person and you say, hey, I don't have time to volunteer, I don't have time to do this. Do you have time with a civic group, your church group, your kids' school, somewhere to donate items like for Soap for Hope, so that she can continue with this ministry and pass that out to the people that need it? Every single person, in my opinion, should be getting involved in some way, even if it's just getting a bunch of people together to gather soap and toilet paper and all those things, so that somebody like you would then be able to pass those out. So there's no excuses, everybody out there. I don't want to hear about it. You can't be any busier than her, Karolyn, or me. Trust me, we're all like crazy people. Because, if you want something done, ask a busy person. That's what somebody told me a long time ago.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's why us busy people are busy, because we're doing things.
Yeah.
But there's no excuse whether you live in the United States, whether you live in McPherson, Kansas, whether you live in Europe. You can get involved in some way to make your community better, just like your family has done, which is incredible. I love the way that you're teaching your children to give back, to grow where you live. That's always how we've done it in our family too. My kids are very involved. I have one son and his family live in Oklahoma. They're very involved with their church and their food bank there. I have kids here that are doing things. I mean, it's really important in our family too.
Yeah. So I would like to ask, how does your faith feed into the work you're doing?
It's huge. So we use our faith to guide us, and we, in that, like I said, we paid off our house, and we knew that was a goal of ours, and how we're going to use these extra resources, because that's what God wants us to do.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have the resources, you might have time. You might have talent. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
I'm looking at retiring in about 6 years, and I'm like, what can I do? And I'm thinking about giving some of my time back to do some, like, ultrasound for, I'm going to blank on it, but there's some units that they need sonographers to, like, do some of the ultrasound for them for pregnancy centers and crisis centers, stuff like that.
That's
Something about
really
giving back
cool.
in that way, too. And that's just an example of time that I can give back.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have one, you probably have another, one of those resources that you can use to give back. And like I said earlier, we're just as strong, if we can make our community stronger in whatever way, just find that need.
Yeah. When one rises, we all rise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, when one does well, we all do well. So that's really important. But I just love this Soap for Hope. It's just, and the name. Where'd the name come from? I love the name.
I came up with that because we just, again, decided that, we can do hygiene products. And then I'm like, well, we got to have a name for this ministry. And Soap for Hope. So that is a fresh, clean start.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I love
Literally and figuratively.
that. Yeah.
Like,
Wow, that
you
is
can get
cool.
clean, on the
fresh,
outside
clean
as well as the inside. And, it's just it's a two-way street.
Yeah. Okay. So you and I,
Yeah.
we talk all the time about how we hate to name things. So the next thing we have to name, I'm going to reach out to Amanda.
Oh.
Because, like, this
Yeah.
just blew my mind.
We're not great namers. Oak Harbor Cottages is on Oak Street. Sutherland Estates is on Sutherland. This is how we do things.
But I love it.
I know, but it
Well,
works. It works. Joey actually came up with Housing for Good. I got to give it to him. At first, I
Yeah.
was like, I don't like it. And it kind of grew. I was like, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
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 I love it.
So you're a good namer. That's like a big skill, right? That's a skill. I mean, you should have seen me naming my kids. It was not good. It was not good. They all ended up okay, but I have some regrets, let's just say.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. So I just want to thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming and talking with us today. This has been another amazing interview. And I'm going to say that if you know somebody that would be interested, or you yourself would be interested in being on our podcast, you can drop us a line, leave us a review, ask us a question.
Please ask us a question.
And do all of that at housingforgood@mcphersonhc.org.
And have a great day.